Hello and welcome to Recently on Reddit, a tiny Black Panther production. Here we explore some eye-catching posts from a number of popular subreddits. This is sort of an intro to Reddit because trust me, there's a lot more waiting there to be discovered. With that out of the way, let's get started. And from r/petty revenge, posted by Green Yo-Yo 11, won't clean up after yourself in the kitchen? I'll bring it to your room. College student here living in an apartment of five guys. For the most part, we all get along and are good friends. However, there is one of us who frequently uses the kitchen, always leaves a huge mess, and never cleans up. The rest of us have brought up the issues multiple times, and he always just brushes it off. Well, me and one of our other roommates have finally had enough and decided to take matters into our own hands. We decided to do a deep clean of the kitchen, except instead of throwing away trash, we threw it in his room. If he won't clean the kitchen, let's see if he'll clean his room. Update. The dude doesn't even realize we put the trash in his room. I also found a bug in the kitchen and slid it into his room for good measure. Kind of sad that I'm not going to get a reaction, though. Also, love all the comments about your own experience. Some of the stuff I'm reading is too funny. LOL. And of course, OP is right. There's loads of comments and little stories at the bottom here. I'm going to share one from DLS 3141. I had a roommate like that when I was in college back in the 1980s. We waited till he had a date with this girl he was really into. We cleaned the kitchen and put all of his dirty dishes under his bed, under the comforter. He gets the girl to come home with him and they head to his room. Cries of, "What the heck?" from him and "Ew, gross!" from her, followed by her storming out and going home. See, folks, if you just clean up, you might actually get to pull once in a while. And now we have a story from r/dating hell. Posted by Kylo Ren's titties. Super stinky dude complained about my clumpy lashes. Too long, didn't read. Stinky guy complained that I didn't want to kiss him and about my clumpy lashes. I had a date years and years ago with someone I met online. He was a bit weird, but seemed like a genuinely nice guy, and he lived in the same city. After a month or so, he asked me out, and I agreed. I told my family where I went and with whom and etc. Safety first, and we met up. I wanted to leave right away. He was stinky, like really bad old body odor smell. His breath also smelled like pestilence. There was a visible plaque on his very yellow teeth, and his clothes were stinky too. His hair was a weird mix of oily yet also dry with a lot of dandruff sprinkled on top. I didn't want to be mean though, and we were hanging out. It was summer, so we were outside. I noticed when we talked that he produced a lot of spit, and I'm super easily grossed out by saliva. But there was no chance I would get near this guy anyway, spittle or not. After a few hours of talking and walking a bit, I said bye. I endured a super stinky hug and went on my very merry way. After a few minutes after we parted, he sent me an SMS. Yeah, it was that long ago. And complained that I didn't kiss him and said, "Your lashes were clumpy from your mascara." And he didn't like that. Excuse me, what? Huh? Dude, we were in an open space and your smell was barely bearable. You were in no position to talk about my clumpy lashes. When I confronted him about his smell, he said that in his opinion, people don't need to bathe or brush their teeth because the body cleans itself, and that I just thought that he stinks because I'm not used to natural smells. I stopped talking to him. I wonder if he still stinks to this very day, or if he grew up to realize that personal hygiene is not a waste of time and money. Oh my goodness, I feel for you, girl. So sorry that happened. From r/Tales from Tech Support, posted by Scorp123. Please increase my mailbox size to 1 exabyte. Just had a funny support ticket yesterday. Normal users get a mailbox size of 500 megabytes. For normal usage, that's enough. You're not supposed to abuse the mail system as an archiving solution. We have a separate product for that. But thanks to the current pandemic, it can happen that some users might get a lot more mail traffic than others and might thus run out of space pretty fast, e.g. because of attachments and whatnot. So if that happens, a user can open a ticket and request more space, e.g. 1 gigabyte or 2 gigabytes if need be, which we will happily provide. And then yesterday we got this ticket from a user who thinks she's particularly entitled to having a super duper large mailbox. Please increase my mailbox size to 1 exabyte. So we call her back, thinking that maybe it's just a typo and she actually meant 1 gigabyte. "No, I really mean 1 exabyte," she insists. I need all the mailbox space you can give me. I am so tired of constantly running out of space. Constantly? Ticket history shows that she's only had her mailbox size increased once so far, from 500 megabytes to 800. And that was like a year ago. Storage analysis says she's got like 750 megabytes in her mailbox now. So, given the growth rate of her mailbox over the past year, 1 gigabyte should do just fine for her. If she runs out of that space too, she can request 2 gigs in about a year or so. No, I want 1 exabyte. Of course, I refuse. There's no way in this universe I could give her that much space. I am going to escalate to your manager, she screams. I can hear my manager's phone ringing. He picks up, and the only thing I can hear is, LOL, what? That phone call didn't even last 30 seconds. My manager walks to my desk laughing ear to ear and tears in his eyes. Yeah, right. Just give her 1 gigabyte and then close the ticket. And don't forget to print it out and put a frame on it. That ticket needs to be in our Hall of Fame. Some users, tisk tisk. 1 exabyte of mailbox storage for Outlook? Yeah, right. And from r/F the HOA, posted by Spirited Outside 1583, we have HOA War. So, when I moved into my house, there was no HOA. I bought my house in December 2018. The neighborhood formed an HOA in September 2019. In the state I live in, I have the option of joining the HOA or not joining the HOA. Me and my wife chose not to join. In the HOA's eyes, this was strike one. So started their constant attempts to get us to join. All attempts were turned away. After months of these attempts, I finally threatened police intervention. After a month of peaceful silence, the fines started appearing in my mailbox. When the fines started coming in, I contacted a lawyer. She said as long as I have a copy of the HOA contract that shows I denied being in the HOA, I would be fine. Now, I had a copy of the HOA contract that stated I was not part of the HOA. It was signed by myself, my wife, and the HOA board. Fast forward 1 year to September 2020. I received a summons to court. The summons basically says that I'm being sued due to unpaid HOA fines. I show the summons to my lawyer, and she says I have nothing to worry about as long as I produce the copy of the contract that shows I'm not a part of the HOA. The court date arrives, and the HOA produces an altered copy of the contract showing me joining the HOA. It literally looked like somebody had just used whiteout to cover up my check mark next to the part that said not joining the HOA. Then they checked off the box that had me joining the HOA. When it was my turn, I stood up and showed that the contract that they had shown was doctored. Then I presented mine, along with the evidence of them trying to get me to join the HOA, even after my wife and I had said no. I finished my argument with, if I had joined the HOA at the beginning, then why would they need to continuously ask me to join? Needless to say, the judge tore them a new butthole and ordered them to disband the HOA. Life in the neighborhood has since become much simpler. It's funny because HOAs are designed to help communities band together, keep out crime, make the neighborhood a nicer place to be. And it seems to me, even though I've personally not had any dealings with them, all they do is cause problems. Thank you for joining us on Recently on Reddit. Please comment, like, and subscribe. All comments will be read and considered, as it is our goal to get better at entertaining you, good viewers. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye for now.